What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. If you missed the video yesterday, I did announce the winner for the Metroid 3DS XL that we had leading up to the 60,000 subscriber giveaway. Congratulations to Kevin for winning that. But if you did not win, don't worry. There's a new link down in the description because we are now giving away 3 Super Nintendo Classic systems. That's right, you'll have 3 chances to win. We're going to give them away in tiers. So at 63,000, one will be given away, 66,000, one will be given away, and then at the 70,000 subscriber mark, one will be given away there. And we'll have different giveaways each time, so you won't have to worry about a bunch of people piling into one, as the Metroid 3DS XL seemed to have a lot of people pile in just because it lasted so long. In this case, these will be more shorter kind of burst giveaways, but it'll be a lot of fun, and I love the Super Nintendo Classic, and I'd love to give it away to some of you guys. Hopefully during the holidays leading into Christmas, we'll have most of those given away, and you can kind of have that either under your tree if you're giving it to somebody, or you can have it ripped apart and playing later on that day. But guys, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about, so let's get started today. So Super Mario Odyssey has a preload that is live, which means you can now go on there and you can download it ahead of time, which is way better than what happened with some of the other games. Remember, things like Splatoon 2 went live and the eShop proceeded to just crash. This is great that people can download it ahead of time. Remember, you need a little over 5 gigabytes free to download it. So if you don't have that on your internal memory on your system, just get a memory card, a little mini SD card, pop it in, micro SD card, and start downloading. It's worth getting it ahead of time just so you don't have to worry about it crashing. You can even let it download overnight, tonight, and then have it ready to roll tomorrow. Or if you're one of those people that want to be up at midnight tonight to play it, I guess it should go live then. Keep in mind, you will still need to be connected to the internet during the online check, because what it's going to do is, as soon as it goes live, it'll have to connect to the internet to then unlock that icon that's on your home screen. Pretty cool to see on your home screen, by the way. But you can then unlock it at that time and play it. Thank you for doing this, Nintendo, because, man, that eShop exploded when Splatoon 2 came out. I can't imagine, after seeing the rage for Splatoon 2 when that happened, can't imagine the rage of what will probably be the biggest release for Nintendo, mostly because it's coming at a time where there's more Switches than there were when Zelda was out, and honestly, Mario appeals to more people than Zelda. That's just the way it is. Mario will be the top-selling Switch game of the first fiscal year for the Nintendo Switch, no question. Next up, if you have not downloaded it, the Sonic Forces demo is available on the Japanese eShop. I did a video playing it yesterday. I wasn't very impressed. To be honest, the demo is just bad. It gives you a 1-minute timer if you enter any of the 3 stages. One of the stages is a boss. One of the stages lets you play as kind of a created character that you can use some equips with. And then the first stage is just Sonic running through what looks to be a very basic zone, kind of akin to like Green Hill Zone, for example. But it gives you a minute, and then after the minute ends, it slowly fades to dark, and then it hits you with a cutscene, and then that's the end of the demo for you. You have to then restart and keep trying to play through it, I guess, in the minute they give you. Not a good demo. The game itself is what you'd expect from a Sonic, kind of a 3D perspective Sonic. The controls are okay, but overall, it doesn't feel that much different. It really doesn't. I still need to see the full game. Keep in mind, this is a demo. They gave us 3 levels and a minute playtime every play session. So I want to see more from the game before I pass harsh judgment on it. But right now, it doesn't seem like this big revolutionary game that they were kind of touting with Sonic Forces. But again, we'll have to see when the full game launches in a few weeks. Now, we talked about Animal Crossing, the mobile Animal Crossing game yesterday. And they said it was going to be launching late in November. Remember, it was like probably the last week in November it was supposed to be officially launching? Well, strangely enough, they did this soft launch in Australia. So you could technically download the game and play it right now. Now, if you're on Android, you can actually download the APK file. It's floating around the internet currently. If you're on an iPhone, for example, or an iPad or any of the Apple devices, you need to change your region to Australia. There's a few things you need to do. Make a new Apple ID. It's a couple things, a few more steps than if you're on Android. But yeah, you can play the game right now. It works completely, and you really only need to change your region on there up until you have it downloaded, and then I think you can change it right back. If you're on Android, super easy though when you have the APK, but the full game is available now. So people are already playing it all over the internet. By the time they launch it in November, people are going to forget that it even was coming out in November. Like, they're going to say, hey, it's out, and then everyone's just going to be like, well, we already have it. At this point, Nintendo, the game is done. Why not just launch it? Move up the launch date to like the beginning of November or something, because by the time you launch it, everyone's probably already going to have downloaded at that point because it's so easy to get, especially on Android. But early impressions, people seem to be enjoying it. They're even saying there's a lot of stuff to do in it that doesn't include you having to spend money on microtransactions. But again, it is a freemium style game, so they do want you to buy microtransactions. But we'll see going forward, especially when they start doing updates, because that won't happen until after they launch the game in November at some point. Next up, the Kinect appears to officially be discontinued. It seems to be completely dead. We've talked about it before because remember Microsoft stopped including the conversion cable for the Xbox One S, and they weren't going to send the cable out for the X at all. This is a cable that lets you hook up the Kinect to the newer style Xbox One systems, whereas you didn't need it with the original VCR looking Xbox One. But it looks like Microsoft has officially cut off manufacturing for the motion detecting IR camera. It was an interesting idea at first. I remember I went and got it the night it came out. And we played, there was like a sports game that it came with, I think Kinect Adventures. And there was another one, it might have been Kinect Sports. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I do remember doing things like soccer, and you did the game where you go through like a water rafting, and you have to jump over certain things. And it was a cool idea in the beginning, much like how the Wii was a cool idea in the beginning. And then it kind of got old, and then games came out that weren't very good for it, and it really became something you would just use your voice to say, like with the Xbox One, you do like Xbox on or Xbox snap this, or that's kind of what it turned into. Even the face recognition stuff got more annoying than anything else when you would use it. And I guess Microsoft has pretty much cut their losses on it. They did end up selling 35 million Kinects when it's all said and done, which is pretty good. That's not bad. I mean, the Kinect wasn't cheap. And it was even, when it came out with the Xbox One, you needed it for the Xbox One, so there was a lot of backlash. They eventually cut it off, cut a bunch of, a lot of price off the top of it when they then released a new model later on and took the Kinect out. But it seemed like something Microsoft wanted to push, and it just, consumers never latched onto it, so Microsoft eventually cut it out. And at this point, we don't have to worry about a Kinect more than likely being bundled with the next Xbox. I think they can get a better price out of it or add more stuff into it. But that's the end of the Kinect, guys. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that. If you have any fond memories of the Kinect, maybe you went out, got it like I did the day it came out, played around with it, but then realized it was pretty much another gimmick when it was all said and done. Let me know what you guys think. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Media Creates. This is, of course, the sales charts that take place in Japan every week. We'll take a look back at the week prior, and we have system sales and game sales. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying the game sales were pretty much completely dominated by Sony. They had a bunch of releases that came out, and it's very clear they also ended up selling the most systems compared to the Switch and PS4 by about margin of error. It was seriously by like 150 to 200 units when you add the PS4 Pro and the PS4 together. I just wanted to say that before we look at these charts. And because these charts that I have here are separated, so the PS4 and the PS4 Pro are two different categories, along with the 3DS XL and the 3DS LL and the 2DS, all this stuff. But let's take a look first at the game charts right here, where you'll see Gran Turismo Sport was number one. Actually pretty popular in Japan. Keep in mind, it's been a while since the Gran Turismo game came out, so more than likely that might have had an effect there. 150,000 units. That's pretty good. City Shrouded in Shadow by Bandai Namco also released 48,000 units, almost 49,000 there. Evil Within 2 came out at 42,000. The Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy 30th Anniversary, it's interesting, 42,000 there. And then we kind of go down from there, and you'll see them sort of start to tail off a little bit. Amazing Aria and Sweet Serenade Love, 19,904. Dragon Quest Final Fantasy 30th Anniversary on the Vita, 18,784. Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Middle Earth, Shadow of War, and then Zelda, Breath of the Wild, round out the top 10. Next up, we have the system sales, which you'll see here. The Switch, 31,092, actually down from 40,000. I'll touch on that in a minute. PlayStation 4, 25,000. That's the regular PS4. The new 2DS LL, 8,449. The PS4 Pro, 6,203. So if you take that along with the current PS4, the standard one, it does come out to a little more than the Switch. So those are very close together. The new 3DS LL right below that, 6,187. The Vita, 3,535. 2DS, 1,367. New 3DS, 195. The Xbox One at 69. PlayStation 3 at 50, and the Wii U, which still is selling there, which is odd, at 40. Now, I was saying this seemed to be PlayStation's week, and that's because you can see how many games. They took the top 6. Sony easily took the top 6 spots. If you have the Vita or the PlayStation 4 there, Gran Turismo did very well in Japan. That's got to be a big plus for Sony right there. And then, of course, they had some third-party games come out below that. But man, Gran Turismo was very popular. I was a little surprised how popular it was in Japan. Again, it's been a while, but I guess just the lack of a racer on the PlayStation 4 platform, that simulation much like Forza, that makes sense why it would do really well in Japan, since you really don't have a ton of options out. Like Forza comes out, but how many people have an Xbox in Japan? As we see, just over 80,000, so not a lot. Nowhere near the 5.5 million PS4s, or at this point, the almost 2 million Switch units. Now, I mentioned the Switch was down this week, and the real reason I think that's happening is because I think stock was being mildly held back in pallets for, well, this week coming up, specifically tomorrow. We've already heard, I've already seen word that stores around me are going to have more Super Nintendo Classics and more Switches than usual, because, well, Super Mario Odyssey is coming out. And this is where things are getting interesting, because next week we will have our first official look at Super Mario Odyssey sales from Media Creates. And that's where things could get interesting, because I'm trying to figure out how much Mario Odyssey is going to push in Japan, depending on sales and how many are actually there. I could easily see Mario Odyssey eclipsing 1 million units in Japan, which would be an over 50% attach rate in the first 2 days. I could see that. Splatoon 2 had a massive first week as well, and Mario Odyssey, again, will appeal to significant amounts more people. There are more Switches there than there were when Splatoon 2 came out. So expect Mario Odyssey to crack that 1 million mark. I would not be shocked. But again, these are also, these are physical sales also, and they can't count eShop sales, and PreLoad is up, so people might be taking advantage of just getting it preloaded. Let me know what you guys' prediction is. What are your predictions for Mario Odyssey's first week sales? It's going to be 2 days. It should track Friday and Saturday. They won't be able to track eShop, so keep that in mind. But I'm curious what you guys think the first week in sales for Mario Odyssey will be on Media Creates. Do you think it will get 800,000, or do you think it will crack that 1 million mark? Let me know down in the comments. And that's it for Newswave today, guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me do any of the stuff we talked about today, whether it is the Media Creates sales, maybe you're expecting the Switch to just do crazy amounts of units next week, maybe over 100,000, along with a massive sale of Mario Odyssey. It was definitely the PlayStation's week, but it's pretty clear because there were so many games that came out for the PlayStation 4. Even the Vita got some love with the Final Fantasy 30th edition game that came out. Kind of cool. And then also let me know what you think about the Kinect being, well, cut off. That's the end of the Kinect, right? I mean, some people may have fond memories of it when it launched back in, I think, 2010. But I am very curious if you have any nostalgia for a system and its peripheral that is over 7 years old now. Yeah, 7 years old. Let me know what you guys think about the entire discontinuation of that, and what do you think Microsoft's thoughts are here with this going forward? Do you think they'll take another shot at a Kinect-like device? I don't think so. I think they're done with that experiment for now. Thanks, guys, for watching. Have fun with Mario Odyssey. It's going to be really cool when it comes out, especially if you're getting it at midnight. It should be really fun tomorrow morning. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.